Hey guys, it's Paul here with GearTest TV, and today I'm going to be reviewing the StormLoft Down Top Quilt from Outdoor Vitals.
So altogether, the quilt weighs in at 596.1 grams, which is equivalent to 21 ounces. Now that's with the stuff sack and the pad strap. The stuff sack itself weighs 9.9 grams or 0.35 ounces, and the elastic pad strap weighs 11.1 grams or 0.39 ounces. By subtracting the weight of the pad strap and the stuff sack, the top quilt by itself comes out to 20.26 ounces or 574 grams. With the quilt inside the stuff sack, it has a diameter of 6.5 inches or 165 millimeters, and it has a height of 11 inches or 279 millimeters. Also, if you were to use a compression sack, you could get it even smaller than that.
So I now have the quilt stretched out in this hammock, mostly just so it's easier to see as I walk you through the quilt. If you are a hammock camper, you can use it in a hammock just like this. Outdoor Vitals also sells an underquilt that you can use in conjunction with this. I'm personally a ground sleeper, so I've just been using it in my tent with an insulated sleeping pad. But the great thing about this is that you can use it for both. Also, they sell this quilt in a couple of different versions. They have a long and a regular, so they have two different lengths. And then they also have three different temperature ratings. They have, I believe, a 0 degree, a 15 degree, and a 30 degree. And this one in particular is the 30 degree long version. So the quilt uses a 10 denier ripstop nylon for the shell and for the lining. So it's super light, it's super soft, and the shell also has a DWR water resistant coating. And the fill is an 800 fill power down, which is also water resistant. As you can probably see, the quilt has vertical baffles that run most of the way down the quilt, and then the foot box has horizontal baffles that run all the way around, and it's a completely enclosed sewn in foot box that, if you can see here, it runs, I would say maybe 2 feet or so from the closed foot box end to the beginning of the opening. Okay, if I can flip this over here, I'll show you kind of what we have going on along the opening. First, at the very top here, there is a drawstring. So if it starts getting colder at night, you can use that to cinch up around your shoulders or your neck just to help seal it off, keep that heat trapped in. Also, there is a button snap at the very top, and there's another button snap just a few inches below that. So if you want to, you can snap this together and use it kind of like a sleeping bag. And there are also two clips farther down the opening, and you can clip those together as well. If you are using this in a tent with a sleeping pad, they also include this little elastic strap that is made to slip around your sleeping pad, and it has those same clips on it so that you can clip the quilt down to your sleeping pad just to kind of keep drafts down and keep the quilt from sliding around at night. Now, I have about 10 nights with this quilt so far, and I've been blown away by just how warm this thing actually is. Typically with bags and quilts, I expect the usable temperature rating to be 10 to 15 degrees above the listed rating, but I have actually used this thing into the low 30s at least twice, and I was perfectly fine, which I did have one layer on and an insulated sleeping pad, but still, I was not expecting this thing to be as warm as it is. I've also really liked how much room I have on the inside of this thing. I'm 6'1", and like I said, this is the long version, but I can pull the end of this bag up over my head and my feet still don't touch the end of the foot box. So I have plenty of room there. I have plenty of room to move my arms on the inside even when it's clipped together, so I don't feel claustrophobic. I've been really happy with that. I can also say that the strap works really well for keeping the quilt in place at night. I had one night where I was using a pillow that was not great, and so my neck was hurting and I kept having to roll from one side to the other during the night, and even with all of that rolling around, the strap kept the quilt in place perfectly fine. The only thing that I have not been a big fan of with this quilt is the location of the cinch strap around the neck area. If you really cinch this thing down at night, you end up with this long cord just hanging out there, and because the cinch strap is at the top center of the quilt, the loose cord just hangs around your neck and shoulders, and it can be kind of annoying. I would rather see a design where the cinch strap was on maybe one or both of the sides, just so it's not hanging over your neck and shoulders. It's a minor thing, it's just not ideal. So with all of that said, I have been really happy with this quilt. It's super warm, I have plenty of room on the inside. It's well built, so I haven't had to deal with any loose feathers, and it's super lightweight. As always, I will leave a link in the description below if you want to check it out for yourself, or if you have any questions for me, feel free to leave those in the comments section, and and I will see you guys next time.